Business growth is so exciting. It can also be overwhelming, get you feeling anxious, scared. It's just like a mix of emotions. However, overall business growth is usually something that, you know, gets you so excited, and also you pause and you look at the hard work of yourself and your team as you're growing. However, I want you to think about a few mistakes that are common, and you want to avoid those mistakes. There are a whole lot, however we're just focusing on just a few for this live video. The first one is getting into that state of complacency. It's easy when you see, okay, you're expanding, you might be going to different locations, sales are increasing. It's easy to get into that state of complacency and not doing the things that will keep your business growing, not improving your systems, for example, your processes, not keeping your eyes on your numbers, right? It's the systems and processes that you used when you were probably at 100,000. You're going to need to deepen those systems as you get to a million, 5 million, 10 million, right? The foundation is the same. However, the systems and processes will need to change. So you want to not make the mistakes where you're thinking, oh, I've always done this. I don't need to change anything. Growth comes with change in your processes and your system. So, for example, it might be okay to be using a manual system as you start out. However, as you grow, you need more automation, you need more effective processes and systems in your business. So one is getting into that state of complacency, not changing processes and systems as you're growing. So that's the first one. The other thing that is it happens so often, studying large organizations, Disney, there are a few, you will find that it's not uncommon to go through a stage of regression. You might have jumped from a million to 5 million, and then the next year you see, okay, things aren't looking so great here. We're heading to 3 million. However, that doesn't mean the growth is not sustainable necessarily. It doesn't mean that you're failing as a company, as a business. It's just, again, that as you're growing, things are changing up. Their team members, you might need to change processes, you might need to change, need to change also your product line and your service line, do things differently, pricing. So all these changes, the term is also used called shedding, that will impact your revenue. It's like you're going through a period of pruning. Yes, that's a better term, pruning. And then that will now lead to things just going back up. So don't mistake that regression period for thinking that you're failing and getting into that low state. It is very, very easy to get into that. And the third thing, which we'll talk about, is not looking at your numbers. And the two areas I spoke about initially helps you to realize that it will all go back to looking at your numbers. So you might see, oh, your bank account is growing. However, don't get into that state where you're not diving deeper into your numbers. The more growth you have, it's the more you should be diving deep into your numbers. So growth is exciting, and it definitely shows a lot about your hard work, your team as well. However, avoid those mistakes because you want to have sustainable growth for sure. So do remember to share this broadcast, repost it. And if you have any questions, feel free to send me a DM. Comments as well are welcome. You can feel free to comment and share where you're joining in from. It's always great to know what part of the world others are joining in from. So I will be signing off in 3, 2, 1. Bye, everyone.